huge movement inside of the emerging church. The deconstructionists. We need to reread the Bible. We need to understand where the original patriarchs were coming from with their patriarchal mindset. And see, then we can tear the thing apart. We can deconstruct it and find its real meaning because of the way that they built it wrong with their wrong understandings. Now, I know that'll give you a worse headache than the one I've got right now. That's what's going on these days. And perhaps nobody is doing a finer job of that these days and coming across in a more scholarly way than Rob Bell. Got to give the guy credit. At least Rob Bell is approaching the Bible in a slightly more scholarly way than just deconstructing it. What it appears that Rob is trying to do is get into the mindset of the Jewish people so much, what was going on at the time, that we need to refilter everything in the Bible through that Jewish mindset, through a rabbinical mindset. Now, what makes this so tricky is that he's right, partly. Some of that we do need to do. We need to understand what was going on in the historical setting when the Bible was written. We do need to do that. But we don't want to have that standing over what is clearly written in Scripture. But Rob goes further than that because he filters it so much through a Jewish history that we end up coming up with an entirely different way of understanding the Scripture. Got a copy of Relevant magazine. It's very relevant. Let me share with you just a couple of these quotes because I can't do any more, quite honestly. He's getting very zen in his presentation, in his understanding of everything. Your relationship with God is tied into your relationship with the soil. Go back to Genesis, says Mr. Bell. There are essentially 4 dimensions to shalom, which is God's intention for all creation. Peace and shalom with our Maker, with each other, with ourselves, and with the earth. They're intimately linked from the very beginning. Over and over again in Scripture, the relationship with God is lived out in a relationship with each other and the soil. Do you know what verse that is? I can't even. Why do you think this has become so politically divisive? Is the whole environmental issue. Rob Bell. We are fighting a war right now for oil. American soldiers and Iraqi civilians are getting killed today because they have a resource that Americans are addicted to. Well, I'm glad that he's not political, because if he was being political, I wouldn't be interested in anything he had to say.
See, I kind of read that into that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know you're part of an empire when in order to get a resource that literally fuels your empire, you'll use violence. It's interesting. The picture right next to that little quote from Rob Bell, he's sitting on a stage and he's got his feet up. See these shoes that he's wearing there? How much petroleum product do you think is in those rubber-soled shoes that he's wearing right there? A fair amount.
Just in the soles.
How much do you think?
Enough to power my car for a week, I'm guessing.
I'm thinking so.
Nice treads, though.
Those glass frames alone. Got to be a fair amount of petroleum. The Bible is full of warnings about what happens when empires start accumulating weapons in the preservation of their comfort. Now get ready for this. I've got to read that again because you've got to follow this as best you can. The Bible is full of warnings about what happens when empires start accumulating weapons in the preservation of their comfort. That's why they end up in exile in Babylon, because Solomon's trading horses with Egypt. Now, I have to confess to you.
Wow, did I miss on that one,
Yeah,
dude?
You really did. I had to go look that one up myself. Yes, indeed, Solomon did trade horses. It's mentioned twice in the book of Chronicles. 1 Chronicles 1, I think it's also in 1 Chronicles 12, give or take. Yeah, he did that. But that's not why they went into captivity. It's because they were breaking the covenant. It lists a lot of different reasons. It's all about breaking the covenant. You do this, blessings. You do that, curses. Deuteronomy 28. He was continually breaking the covenant. And the people were constantly breaking the covenant. And the priests were breaking the covenant. And the prophets were breaking the covenant. And the sacrificing and the idol worship. And that's why they went into captivity. Trading horses? Wow! Wow! That is so Starsky-like. What can we do to reach out to communities that have been labeled as evil? This is more Rob Bell interpretation. This is, I want to see the Bible this way. I want to see the world this way. I'm going to force my view onto the scriptures and interpret it this way. He writes, there's an amazing metaphor where Joshua is going into battle and he meets an angel of the Lord. Joshua asks whose side the angel is on, and the angel says, neither. To me, that is one of the most helpful passages because everybody is interested in whose side God is on. And the response in Joshua is neither. I love that. So, here's what he's done. He's taken the story of Joshua, and he's put America in one position and Iraq or the Taliban in another. And he said, God isn't on either side. You got that?